Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and today I want to share with you really simple and easy how to make corned beef and cabbage. Now, it's a really easy recipe. It's probably one that you can make with your eyes shut. We're not curing our own brisket. We're not brining our own brisket. I'm definitely taking help from the store when it comes to that. But I just wanted to share it with you my way. I made it the other night because I wanted leftovers to make Reuben sandwiches. So I shared it on Instagram, and I had a bunch of people ask to show you how to make it because you know if it comes from me, it's going to be good and it's going to be easy. So let me run you through what I've got here. This is your corned beef, which is essentially a 5-pound piece of brisket that's been cured, it's been brined, it's got a lot of flavor. When you buy one that's already done, you'll always have a little packet of, it's like basically it's pickling spice, right? It always comes with a little packet of pickling spice. If the one that you're buying does not, or, for example, if the kind that you're buying has some spices that you just don't love, like I don't love when it comes with like a cinnamon stick in there, too many juniper berries, you can always make your own. And you'll use just like a teaspoon of mustard seeds, a bay leaf, some peppercorns, and a couple juniper berries. And that's it, because your brined brisket already has a lot of flavor, right? So this one's good. It's a brand that I trust and that I enjoy. So it's really just got crushed up bay leaves, some mustard seeds, a couple of cumin seeds from what I can see, maybe some chili. That's it, which I do love this brand. This brand. So we're gonna do really easy. The first thing you want to do, which no one talks about, is rinse your brisket. Your brisket has been brined, it's been cured, it's really salty. So wash off that first layer of intense salt. Another thing you want to do is don't cook this in 3 cups of water. You want to cook this in like 16 cups of water, if not more, because again, we're talking a whole lot of salt here, and you don't want it to concentrate in your broth, and then your end result will be so salty, right? We're gonna add the spice blend, which you can see it's not a lot, but it adds so much flavor, and I love it. Then to make the broth really flavorful, because we're gonna be cooking our carrots and our potatoes in the broth and the cabbage, which I'll talk to you about later, you need celery, you need an onion, which I just cut in half and don't even peel it because I'm going to strain it out. And then you need, I take a small bulb of garlic and I cut it in half horizontally and I add it all right in. Remember, we're gonna be draining all of this out. And then you need thyme and parsley. Do not add any salt. Don't add stock, nothing. You just need this flavorful bath. And now all I do is bring this up to a boil, turn it down to simmer, and let it simmer low and slow for a good 2.5 to 3 hours, or until your brisket is nice and fork tender. Not to the point where it falls apart like a pot roast. We don't want that. You want to be able to slice it. So I'm going to do that, and once it's nice and tender, I'll show you the next step, and then I'll show you how I like to prepare my cabbage, and I'll show you everything else. All right, so I took my brisket out. It's over here. It was simmering for almost 3 hours or until tender. Now I'm just using my little spider here and getting everything out of here, the onions and the garlic and the sort of like the pieces of celery and herbs. They've done their job. They flavored everything really beautifully. It's a gorgeous deep golden color. Love it. So now at this point, to this, I am going to add some little tiny baby potatoes. I love these, but you can also use just regular potatoes that you've diced. And then some carrots. I like to peel them and I cut them on an angle, nice and thick, about 1 inch thick, just so that the potatoes and carrots cook at the same time. Do not add any more salt, nothing. All the salt, all the flavor is already in there. Now, most people add their cabbage to this as well. I don't. Because I feel like if you do that, then your cabbage is just sort of like super soft, no texture. Everything tastes like cabbage. Your potatoes will taste like cabbage because it's such a strong flavor. It will infuse into the potatoes and carrots. So I don't do that because I want the cabbage to be like a part of the dish, and I don't want this to be cabbage soup, right? So I'm gonna just pop this on the back burner to cook until the potatoes and the carrots are tender, and then I'm going to bring a skillet here so that we can make our cabbage, and I'll show you how I like to make it because it's just delicious and everything together is just phenomenal. I went ahead and I just sliced my brisket. You always want to make sure that you are slicing against the grain so that you have nice, even, soft mouth-watering slices and you don't end up with shoe leather, right? If you feel like the fat cap on top, that layer of fat is too thick, I just snap it off because there's just no point in having it if you feel like it's too thick. So what's the point? What I have in here is some of the broth that we cooked the brisket in, that the potatoes are cooking in. In this large skillet, what I have in here is just a little bit of butter. That's all I got. Once this comes to temperature, I'm going to saute my cabbage. I like to saute it in a little bit of butter. I like it that it just, you know, it just adds flavor, but also as you're cooking it, like the cabbage caramelizes a little bit, it develops a little bit more of a deeper flavor, and it's just delicious. And to me, it's like the perfect thing to serve alongside rather than just having really soft cabbage. But if you want to boil it in the broth, obviously you can. And I like to slice it instead of chopping it, but whatever you want to do is fine. I just think that this is just easier to eat. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to saute my cabbage. I'm not even going to add any salt to it. I'm telling you, the meat itself is so salty that you don't really need to add a lot. And since I'm adding a splash of the broth as this cooks down, I don't need to add anything else. If I want to, I'll add some pepper, but I really don't need to. So I'm just going to keep my eye on this, saute it until I feel like it looks good, and I'll add some broth as it happens, and then I'll just get my potatoes out, and then we'll serve everything. That's it. Cabbage looks great. It's not totally mushy. It's just how I like it. You can see it's picked up some color. Already taste tested it, and it tastes delish from the broth that we added. So good. The potatoes are perfect. The carrots are perfect. So now you just kind of like, you know, it's very hot. Very, very hot. Now you just assemble, right? I like to do like little, this is so hot and I'm like trying to pretend that it's not, but it is. Do like little groupings of things. I just think it looks better. Don't get rid of your broth because you're gonna want some to serve at dinner, you know, for your beef so it doesn't dry out. Also, the leftover, stretch it out by adding some more water, and it makes the best base for a bean soup. Ooh, delicious. And since you didn't cook your cabbage in it, it won't taste like straight up cabbage. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's fabulous, really. This is going to be the most wonderful dinner. So delicious. We'll add some more veggies on the side. I just love it. And like I said, I've got the stock here that we, you know, the broth that we cooked it in. So I'm just going to take a little ladleful and just drizzle it all over the whole thing, and it will be perfection. Trust you me, okay? Just over the beef. Nice and tender. You can see that beautiful pink color. That's from the salt and curing it. Look how tender it is. See that? Look at this. I don't even have to cut it. I could just pull it apart. That's what you want. You don't want anything that's hard. You don't want anything that's like, not perfect. It's not too salty. Delicious. I love me some cabbage. So I'm here for the cabbage all day. The potatoes, just all of it. It's delicious. So, hot though. So, you take a little help from the store, but you do it well, and it's fabulous every single time. NoraInTheKitchen.com for the recipe. Hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.